Hello, everybody. Hello, Juno.
Hey, Gerald, I love that intro. It's the first time I've sat and really focused on it. It's amazing. You're so talented.
Oh, thank you. I have a lot of fun with them. It's one of the things that bring me some joy. So,
Yeah, you can tell.
everyone, please welcome to this Laugh and Learn. And I'm going to have you pronounce this because suddenly I don't feel confident.
Oh, and you know what, everybody? It's a tongue twister for all of us. It's Jin, as they would say, like the drink, only it's spelled with a J. Shin, like your shin bone, and it's Jutsu. Jitsu, like you think of jujitsu, the martial art, is Jitsu. That means technique. Jyutsu. Jutsu means art. This is a healing art.
I love that. And this amazing person is Junosphere.
Mhm.
Juno came last month and did a casual with me. That is linked in the description below. All of Juno's information is linked below, as well as a current GoFundMe, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I am Tarotstache. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
I just noticed we both have big S's.
Yes, we do. Yes, we have big S's. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. And please like, share, and subscribe. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably make one of these at say like, share, and subscribe all separately or something like that. But yeah. So today we have a laugh and learn, which is not really a part two. It's its own separate thing, isn't it? Because
Well, it's an extent. Yeah, it's a continuation of what we started. But
that is true. That's true. And I know everybody is already subscribed to your channel, right?
right, no pressure.
Go subscribe. So
Look into my eyes, right?
yeah,
Gerald?
look into my eyes. So here.
There you go.
So let's say hi to some of the best chatters. Jane, the seeker is here. Hello, Jane. I can't miss this one. Good. Viviani is here. Hello,
Hey.
Viviani. Good to see you. Willow Love is here. Hi, Willow. It's nice to see you here. And Tarotstache is here. Everybody be careful of that one.
Yeah, I heard about him.
Yeah, I've heard about him. Minerva is here. Good to see you, Minnie. And Fogo Pogo. Kaylee is here. Kaylee, have you recovered from doing the back and forth with Jamie and Gerald on Tuesday? Because we had a really good time. Very good questions, Kaylee. Mary Thornberry is here. Jane is saying hi to everyone and the best chatters. And Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, is here. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you. Kathy Persons is here. Jonathan Daly. Hello. Yes, always Gerald flutters eyelashes. So, yeah, and my big eyelashes there too.
There you go.
And Lottie B, Hugs from Spirit, is here. Hi, Lottie. And so Kaylee said no recovery needed. So
That's the best time when you don't need to recover. You know, you can
that is exactly right.
pumps you right up.
Exactly right. So Teresa Ford is here. Okay, Teresa Ford's here, so we're able to start.
Okay.
I'm teasing you, Teresa. It's good to have everybody here, and seriously, thank you very much. So, this is great. I am going to turn off this banner because of that. And okay, so Teresa did find that funny. That's good. That's good. So, okay, so what is this amazing thing that we're talking about today?
Well, Jin Jitsu is a Japanese healing art, and the healing occurs on more than just a physical level. It's mental, emotional, and spiritual. It goes back, centuries and centuries and centuries. Let me see here. Sorry, I get all.
That's okay. That's okay. And Sherry, by the way, has said has taken the day off and is going to plan her trip to visit Juno in the flesh.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited, and I've made her a special mandala, so we'll be able to
Ooh.
give her in person. So I'm excited.
And Madame Maru is here. Hi, Maru.
Very
So
nice. Hey, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. And this is the first time we're attempting to see if it streams on my channel too. So I'm not sure if it's working, but we did all the little.
it's there. It's working, but because you have it saved private for later,
And they
it's
don't
not
see
showing
it.
up.
Okay, thank you. I'm learning, guys. This is
Yeah,
all
this is great.
I'm
This is
making big
great.
changes, upgrades to my channel. So this is a big help, Gerald.
You're welcome. Oh, it's great.
So, and just to make it easier for everybody, if you really have a hard time saying Jinshin Jitsu, you can just say JSJ.
Okay.
And some people shorten it to Jinshin Jitsu or just to Jinshin, but then you're leaving off the art. So, you know, but we all would know what you're talking about. And it's a technique, not a mechanical application. So since it's an art, it's a skillful creation. Okay. So
I like that.
You learn, when you take self-help classes or, to be a practitioner, you learn the flows and how to properly do them, but you're the artist and you're working with a person or an animal, and their energy is constantly changing. Every moment is just a snapshot in time. So you will naturally, your hands will know where to go. So that's how this one way that you can interpret this as an art, and that makes you the artist.
Yes. I like that. It does in a way, it shifts the energy around it to an art form, because I think medicine of any kind is an art form, especially when someone is connected to the energy around that and is able to connect with their patient client. The energy flow goes between the provider and the recipient. So I think it's great.
Exactly. That was excellent. Excellent, Gerald. And it's not an application of a technique, it's a demonstration of art. And by simply being the channel through which flows infinite aesthetic powers of the creator. So you're just the conduit. You're just acting as a jumper cable. It's just like when you jumper cable your car. You're connecting 2 points. So in Jinshin Jitsu, you put your hands, depending on what you're addressing, on 2 different points. If you do with one, it will still benefit. 2 is even better, though. It just, the energy moves more quickly.
Sure.
It's an oral tradition that keeps it alive, and it's an always changing cosmic artless art. So there's one of those mind benders to really wrap your head around.
Yeah.
And the only requirement to doing Jinshin Jitsu, practicing Jinshin Jitsu, is being compassionate.
Oh, okay.
It's the art of the creator through compassionate man. Of course, man, man, woman, that's, we're
human, beings. Yes.
Right.
Jane the Seeker, yes, we are taking questions again for entertainment purposes only. I've got some questions here, and then we'll give an opportunity for Juno to share. So, and Delphi Ross has joined us. Hello, Delphi. Great to see you. And Kaylee said the energies are so weird with words lately. Half the time, I'm like, what are words? What is English?
Yeah. Sometimes when you write the same word over and over, and then it looks so bizarre. It doesn't even look like, is that really a word? And it's really a word. But hey, that leads me to a riddle that I have for you, Gerald.
Oh, no.
What is the longest English word?
Is it floxinoxynilification?
Oh, that's a new one. Wow. It is not. You have to write that one down for me.
Okay.
It is actually smiles because there's a mile between the first and last letter.
Oh. There you go. She got me.
It's like getting the handshake on Bake Off. I got the whoop.
Yes,
oh my
you
goodness.
got the Antwerp. I love it. I love it. That's great. There's mile. Yeah, that's good.
There's a mile between the first and last letter. That goes with our happiness and joyful theme of the day today, right?
Yes. And Sherry said, I have become very efficient at pointing out the body parts to work on. Juno gives
Mhm.
direction and I do the action.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
good. And I don't know if I said hi to Vanessa S. It's good to see you. And Teresa Ford said, the way you explain it takes a lot of the anxiety out of it.
Good. Good.
That's
Well,
beautiful.
well, I was taught by the best, and she suffered a severe brain injury. We talked about it in the other show, but she had to learn everything all over again. She had to learn to speak and talk and everything. So
Wow.
she refers to herself as the Forrest Gump of Jin Shinjitsu because she breaks it down into understandable language and pieces. And
Yes.
so I'm very grateful that I have such a wonderful mentor and friend in my life.
That's beautiful. And Rossi has joined us, and Kiba Lyons, and but it's really anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that's a good
That's a
one.
good one.
Yeah.
And extra points for spelling that correctly.
Yes. Oh, yes. So, well, I mean, we talked a little bit about this Juno before, but how did you learn about it? How did you learn about it?
Uh, it was a diagnosis of fibromyalgia when I was 40, which I'd been suffering with since I was 3. That's another story I think we went into in the previous show.
Mhm. Yes.
And it led me to a pain management doctor, and then they tried everything, all the traditional medical medications and this test and that test, and let's put, inject you here and that. Nothing helped. And so after 2 years, the pain management doctor said, this is everything I know. And, I want to help you, but that's all I have. So I know this doctor that does this kind of energy work. I can't even pronounce it, but here's her number. Maybe check her out. And fortunately, she worked at a clinic, and so she could code it. So I got sessions every 2 weeks on average for 5 years, and my insurance paid for it.
I love it.
And after 2 weeks of 2 sessions, I felt like somebody was putting Humpty Dumpty back together again
Mhm.
on every level. I'm not saying, oh, I
Yeah.
was healed and I threw down my crutches. No, I don't have crutches. You know what I mean? It
Yes.
wasn't that, but it was still that sense of, somebody was actually addressing me in a way that my body and my soul could process and take in, because I'm allergic to the medications. If I have an X-ray,
Mhm.
I'm sick for 3 days,
Yes.
even any little energy things. And there's more people out there, especially in our community, who understand that now. But back then in the mid 90s, you got 2 heads, what's
Yeah.
the matter with you? Just get up and get over it, or just take this medication and get over it. Everybody else does. And it didn't work that way for me.
Yes.
And
Well, and I mean, what you've just described is the beautiful example of how I'm going to call your original doctor, um, Western medicine approach, which there's nothing wrong with that.
right.
And then you have, I'm going to say, would this be Eastern philosophy?
Yeah, as opposed
Okay.
to Western. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so what happens is when they work together, it's a very holistic approach, and there's a benefit that is exchanged. I love that you found this person after 2 sessions. You're like, going, huh, this is good. I like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. And then I couldn't wait for my next appointment to go, when my hand in the air, like the kid in the classroom, can't wait to give the answer. Like, I want to know more. Tell me, how do I do this? I just knew and then, long story short, I received scholarships to be able to attend. So I didn't let
Mhm.
money stand in the way. I found a way,
Yes.
and also spirit lined that all up for me to,
That's
to have
beautiful.
these opportunities, because I've been blessed with amazing opportunities
Uh-huh.
through this process.
I love
And
it.
now I've been, let's see, 22 years now that I've been
Wow.
on this
Okay.
journey. And I would say, not to discourage anybody, because it's a lifelong journey.
Yes.
You learn enough to get you started, and then it builds, it's cumulative.
Hmm.
But it's like when I reached the 20-year mark, then I had a bigger understanding of it. You just kind of get it on a different level. But I think that's true of anything we practice.
Yes, I think so, because for each time we practice, we bring previous experience with us, and then that also helps to inform us, and we build. It's a building, it's a weaving, but
Yeah, exactly. It is a weaving. Exactly.
yeah.
And Jinshin Jitsu works on our highest energetic level.
Mhm.
So the more you do it, the more you're raising your own vibration in a sense,
Yes.
as you're harmonizing, because it's all about harmony. This is not it doesn't cure you. It doesn't heal you, so to speak. It's harmony. It's about being in harmony.
I like that.
Yep.
I like that. Let's say hi to a few more people who've come in. We have Sandy Johnson. We have, where did I miss? We have J Cat Lady. Good to see you. We have Queen Kalian. Hello. Diana, oil painter, Goddess Diana, Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah,
And
she's
of
amazing.
course, driving
Yeah,
down
of
the
course.
road and listening and enjoying. Good to see you. And Care Bear, Bard of Cards. Good to see you. So thank you, everybody, for coming in. Donna, Artist and Oracles, is here. Big fan of this modality. My homeopath practices JSJ as well. Great combo.
Excellent.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. And there's at least one or two hospitals back east that have a whole wing of the hospital devoted to Jinshin Jitsu because they found how much it helps people. I mean, it doesn't interfere with medications or treatments or anything. It's supportive of all that. So
I love that.
it's becoming more and more. And if you go to Europe, it's much more mainstream in Europe.
Of course.
My first instructor for the first 5-day classes I took was from Germany. She came here just to teach and then went back. And so, I learned a lot right from her about how it's integrated and just more accepted.
Yeah.
But things are changing.
Madame Maru said, I love that chakra grid, Juno.
Oh, my
yes.
Yes. Yeah, and it's got a Merkaba on top.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. I've missed some other. Pamela Batchelor is here. Hello, and apologies if I've missed anyone. And Care Bear loves that crochet work too.
Oh, thank you. Yes, perfect. It is crochet. Every stitch is a prayer.
Yep.
It's a meditation.
Yep. And Sandy said, my talented, wonderful neuropath healer passed recently. Now I'm on the hunt for a new. Very hard to find. Yeah.
But here's the thing. What Spirits has said, ask. Just ask Spirit to align you with that person. Just like how I stumbled into this. I've stumbled into so many things. Of course, that's how I view it. And Spirit's going, yeah, right. You didn't stumble. You laid this map out ahead of time before you even got here.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah.
Rhonda Q said, this is my first introduction. So I hope this is helpful for you. We're doing a good basic a basic explanation for it. And there were, all right. Jonathan asked, is Jinshin Jutsu, sorry.
Jutsu. Yeah.
Similar to medical Qigong?
I don't know a whole lot about medical Qigong, but here's how I'll explain it, how it would be different from acupuncture. Okay. Acupuncture, they deal with meridians, right? And that's like the rivers of energy that flow through our body. Okay. And where the acupuncturist puts those needles is where that flow is the fastest in that river. Jinshin Jitsu is like all the little tributaries that lead into the river. So we focus on like the pre, like getting to the cause of whatever the project is. And we don't call them an illness or a disease. It's just a project to be worked on. So you're not putting a label on it. You're not limiting it. You're leaving it's wide open for miracles to happen. So that's the best way. Since I don't know Qigong, medical Qigong, I can't. These are all related. They're all working with the energy body. I don't know if you would like me to tell that part I told you now about what subtle energy is.
I think that would be great. And Maru actually put in a pronunciation. So
yeah, jutsu. Yeah.
Jutsu. Okay.
Yeah. Think of that like J-Y-U, Jew,
Yeah.
almost like Jew, like Jewish, but not exactly. Okay.
All right.
So,
Go for it.
so um, through working with, and I'll show you a diagram after this about the safety energy locks and where they're located in the body, and I'll talk about more about that. But the safety energy lock are like the keys to opening these safety energy locks. And ki is also ki, which is also chi.
Mm-hmm.
So ki, and chi, they're all related. Okay. So subtle energy is the same as electromagnetism in that it is just light, but different in that it is light at very high and possibly very low frequencies, where it behaves differently and responds to different laws. Subtle energy is to our current understanding of electricity, classic electromagnetism, as water vapor or steam is to water. It is essentially the same thing, only finer, more diffuse, and it obeys different laws. Subtle energy is diffuse electromagnetism. You can't measure subtle energy with a voltmeter any more than you can measure water vapor with a measuring cup. I love analogies where you get a visual. It really
Yes.
helps me grasp
Yes.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So then ki or chi is an energy finer than that of electricity or electromagnetic energy. Safety energy locks are where the flow of ki comes to the surface of the body. So, scientifically speaking, these areas are essentially points of high electrical conductivity or conversely low electrical resistance. They act somewhat like amplifiers that pass the chi or ki along from one point to another.
That's great.
I just
Thank
love that idea of how to, they're such obscure and esoteric concepts to try to grasp. And
Mm-hmm.
that really helped me to think about it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jonathan did share medical Qigong is a way of using energy to work with the Chinese meridians.
Okay. So it's similar but different. Like I said, we're working with flows that go through the body.
Mm-hmm.
They meander more, let's say, than the meridians do. But many paths up the mountain. It's not a either or situation.
Yes. Yeah. And I agree with you. Many paths up the mountain. You take the one that is available to you and that works for you.
Exactly. And it might be a blend of different ones, like I'm also a
Absolutely.
Reiki master. So for me, Reiki is like the umbrella, but I can feel Reiki. And now my hands are heating up just talking about it. If I crochet, Reiki's coming through. If I'm cooking, I make cookies and I bake goodies and give them to people just to brighten their day.
Yes.
It's all part of that.
Yeah.
And back to the meaning of Jin Shinjitsu, Jin, the Jin means compassion or benevolence. And that is the magic key that unlocks the true power of our inner spirit.
Mm.
Shin means spirit. And then, as I said, Jitsu translate to art. So it's art of the creator through compassionate man. It's the art of happiness and the art of longevity.
I love that. I love that. Jane the Seeker has said, I can tell this will be alive. I will watch a few times. Then I'll get my journal and watch it again.
Love it, Jane.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
I get tears in my this is like sorry, I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
This opportunity, with you and with others and being able to bring this forward is a lifelong dream to me. This is just like my passion, and I'm so grateful, and I welcome any questions or, anything. I'm just really thankful. Sorry, it gets me.
You don't have to apologize.
It comes from my heart so much.
Yeah, yeah. Jacob Bush is here. Hi, Jacob.
Hey,
Good to
Jacob.
see you. Sandy Johnson said, this is a wonderful, informative show. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that feedback.
Yeah. And Jonathan said, I feel the chi flowing through my hands when I'm making art. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Never say sorry when your eyes fill up with joy.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. Ooh, another.
You got another one. That's so, yeah. And yeah, Juno is the real deal and such a sweet soul.
Thank you, Jane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So there's going to be praise heaped in your general direction, Juno. So get ready. And Jonathan is sending lots of aloha in Juno, and we Juno, I keep telling you that what you give to all of us far outweighs what you take in.
Oh, thank you. It's a circuit. We all,
Yep.
give generously and receive graciously.
Yes, I like
Thank
that. We appreciate your sharing your knowledge.
Thank you.
And Care Bear said, honestly, some words used here I'm writing down in my words to use list for my poetry. Loved how you described it, Juno. That's beautiful.
Well, these are I'm have the benefit of the words of wise people before me. These, I'm just sharing them. But I also wanted to give a little, because we were going to talk later about laughing and to how to harmonize joy. And what you guys can do while you're sitting there and listening to the show is just hold your ring fingers, either one. You can, grasp it just around there. You can get in there and really work it. You can put your thumb down the middle of the palm. You can put the thumb down the back of the palm, play around with it.
Mm-hmm.
The ring finger helps to brings joy into being. So anyone out there who's dealing with sadness or grief or is enjoying the joy, while we're talking, you can do that and see. And with all of us doing that at the same time and sending that energy out, it's like, how it's magnified when we get together.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
so it's very powerful. Even if the people are watching later, the fact that you're doing it along with that would be very beneficial.
Absolutely. And Diana said, I think of the meridian lines in the body like the ley lines of our own personal flow. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And thank you.
And there's many ways that energy flows through the body. There's like a figure 8 pattern. There's the meridians. There's many different ways depending on the modality you're using.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Diana said, yeah, Juno has taught me a lot about this. I've healing process. I appreciate that more than she'll ever know. She's definitely the real deal. And yes, well, and Beth Espasia Rising is here, as well as Jen Joyful Journey. Links to get a hold of Juno are in the description below.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked briefly. There is a link down there to a GoFundMe that she is working on for the needs related to her car. However, if you donate, what do they get in exchange? Because you are very much a balanced person.
Yes, I just, really enjoy giving back. And I'm so grateful to the support from this community. So I offered this last time I did this. This is actually a continuation of the previous GoFundMe that I have stopped taking donations on. This is just focusing on my vehicle. But anyone, no matter what you donate, because I know not everybody has a lot of money, but if, I appreciate the energy sent my way. I will do, all I need is your birth date information, day, month, and year, and I will run a Destiny card yearly reading report and send it to you. It's about 20 or 21 pages that you'll be able to refer to throughout the year, and it'll go from birthday to birthday. Now, if someone already donated in the past and received a Destiny card reading, we can do the one for your next coming birthday, or I can do a life report card.
Wow.
So,
cool.
and any information is obviously kept confidential, but
of course,
I'll be contacting people that have donated. I'll be sending you an email through the GoFundMe to let you know how to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Nina said, Juno is an amazing fountain of information.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Nina's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So we did have a question.
Yes.
There's a couple of questions, and I'm trying to. Okay, that is my question. If you don't mind, this dizziness is driving me crazy. Walls are my friends, and because this is Jane the Seeker, who is asking for entertainment purposes only, not medical advice.
Right.
But what finger can I pull to get rid of dizziness? That is my question, if you don't mind. The dizziness is driving me crazy. Walls are my friends.
Let me look. I have compiled a 500-page directory of all the things that you can do with Jin Shin Jitsu. So I don't pretend to have it all memorized just yet,
Overachiever.
Yeah.
People.
Well, it takes one to know one, right?
Yes. Well, and I am a person who I love having a resource. So.
Yes. Yep, exactly. And even Einstein, to paraphrase Einstein, I never memorized anything I could look up in a book.
That's exactly right. Einstein did not know his phone number because he could look it up in the phone
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
dizziness is caused by too much tension in the upper back. So you could also, things that you can do to release your shoulders, your upper back, the base of your skull, even just placing your hands there. Place your hands just on either side of your neck. Place your hands just over your shoulders, whatever's comfortable for you. This is not about, the older we get a little less flexible. Things might be difficult. If you can only move, you place one hand at a time. It's too hard to do with both. Just do one at a time and then rest the other hand, like say on the inside of your opposite leg, like your right hand on the inside of your left leg. And then that makes that connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jane said that would be correct.
So holding the thumbs can help dizziness, and or holding the index finger can help dizziness. I've got a whole bunch more, but I don't want to give too many. And another one that's always a go-to is cross your hands and hold the inside of your knees. This is the prime mover, Safety Energy Lock 1. It is correlated to the magician in the tarot. Okay, you think about what the magician can do. Safety Energy Lock 1. So this is like if Mary would say, Mary Burmeister. Here's her picture. Here's Mary Burmeister.
Oh,
She's the founder of Jinshin Jitsu. She's the one that took the teachings of Jiro Murai. Here he is, who he brought this forward, and she took all this and correlated it to all the other things that we relate it to, like astrology, numerology, colors, taste, smells, numbers. Okay, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
Oh, Mary would say, if all you ever do is hold your wands right on the inside of your knees or your thumbs, they're related. For the rest of your jumper cable days, you will address everything in your whole system.
So when you say that, you cross your arms like this.
Yeah. So in other words, you're putting your right palm on the inside of your left knee and your left palm on the inside of your right knee.
Okay.
Okay. And if you goof it up and you don't cross your arms, you can't do it wrong. Yes. It just will take the energy a little bit longer to get, to run through the whole system.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Jane, I hope that gives you something to consider.
Yeah. And the Safety Energy Lock 1, holding the inside of the knees, is also really good for nausea. Sometimes if you're dizzy, you're nauseous. Anything that you can think of, or if there is an extreme situation, I've known it's helped people that like had drowned, you know what I mean, and where they were being resuscitated. It moves that stuff out if you've got to get something out.
Wow.
It's I've got tons of stories about it, but I won't go into them here. But powerful thing, I might think I said this last time, but in the hands, okay, there's 144,000 body functions in the body. Let me start over. There's 144,000 functions in the body, and each finger harmonizes 14,400 of those functions.
Wow. Okay.
So when I say hold your thumb, there's a really good reason. You're doing a lot more than you realize.
That's incredible. Jane asks, do you add intention?
It always helps. It's not required. Like if you're working on somebody who's, I don't believe in any of this. And then, like the guy that a friend of mine worked on, a big cowboy and everything with his cowboy boots, and he had a bloody nose. And she said, take your boots off. She held his pinky toes and his nose stopped bleeding. He wasn't going, I'm putting intention in this and I believe what you're doing. He's looking at her going, lady, you're nuts. But but when his nose stopped bleeding, he went, he was a believer. I think there might be something to this. So it always helps. Okay.
Yeah. And Jane says, I am nauseated. Okay. And and Juno asks, could it be vagus nerve related?
I'm not here to diagnose, and Jinshin Jitsu does not diagnose, so I don't. I appreciate the question. And it's always a possibility, but that's the thing. Where our system is all connected, from head to toe, so everything is related. But.
Well, it's that idea of that intention. You don't have to believe that the energy works. It just does, whether or not you believe it or not. So it's like Reiki. The energy is going to be there.
Yeah.
So.
And I mentioned earlier, well, I'll show you the diagram here. This is the Safety Energy Locks in Jinshin Jitsu. Okay, there's 26 on either side of the body, so that's why you see two dots, right? The one will just show you where the number is. we call these bone daddies. So this is, shows the front and the back of the body.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And you can see they don't just go, okay, 1 is here and 2 is here. They move throughout the body,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I deal with fibromyalgia. I imagine there might be a few other people out there in our audience who deal with fibromyalgia. The ones in red are the tender points in fibromyalgia, and look at how they line up with the safety energy locks.
Very interesting.
So the safety energy locks act in our body like the circuit breakers in our house. You get injured, you get stressed, you have a trauma, they shut down to protect us from further damaging ourselves. So that's why we carry, we have these areas. And when you start touching these areas on yourself, you're going to go, man, I didn't even know it hurt there. Holy cow. And Mary would say, bones don't hurt and muscles don't hurt, tension hurts. So if you can, you can place your palm over that area, or you can get in there with your fingertips and bullseye it, if you find where it's really tender. And sometimes you can break it up and get it moving quicker. But this is not about hurting yourself. It's not, you don't have to have discomfort to have benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow. Okay. I just put in that if people wanted to ask a question about JSJ, to put it in caps so that I can capture it. So.
And I do offer, I do remote healing. And also if someone would like to have a private session to say, I have this headache or whatever it is, and, I can teach you self-help, and I can also help you, through Zoom. That's also a possibility if anyone's interested in that. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Gerald.
Nope, go you first.
Okay. This take me a few minutes to just, I ran across this. I found a box I haven't seen for 4 years of all these really juicy Jinshinjutsu fun things. And so I want to share them with you guys if I may.
Please do.
Okay.
Hi, Sun Psychic Jean, and Mousy is here. So thank you everybody for being here. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you all.
Yeah.
So these are the 26 safety energy locks. And it's like, I know that safety energy lock seems like such a cumbersome thing, but Mary was very specific in her words, and each one of those words is chosen for a reason. And each safety energy lock is also a sphere, and it's about the diameter of the palm of your hand. And so it extends above the body, and it also goes inside the body. So in other words, you can hold above the body, say someone was burned or, had a wound that you couldn't put your hand on. You could hold your hand over that safety energy lock area, and it will still help them.
Mm-hmm. So
here's the spiral story of the 26 safety energy locks. So everybody, hold your ring fingers and listen, or your thumbs or whatever. Jumper cable yourself as needed.
Yes.
So the oneness splits into 2, duality, the mirror image, so that 3 brings us into harmony, so that 4 can open my windows to see how things change. 5, then I can be human. 6, with no discrimination. 7, and receive perfect life power. 8, to connect above and below. 9, to end the cycle and to begin again. In the 10, limitless power of life, opening our breath, eyes, and ears. 11, to listen, to receive all the answers so that I can. 12, connect to my higher self. 13, to recreate and fertilize mind, body, and soul. 14, so I know there is a place for me, that everything is taken care of. 15, so I will be in joy and laughter in my place. 16, with my foundation connecting to my roots. 17, to calm down my nerves and mind so I can understand. 18, all the layers I'm in to give me. 19, or perfect leadership and authority. Which 20 helps me not to get stuck in the authority, as it gives me the big overview to help. 21, to erase all mental bondage so that I. 22, am balanced inside and outside. And 23, am ready for responsibility. 24, if I harmonize chaos, I can live in peace. 25, so that I can regenerate. 26, to be complete and begin the spiral again.
That's beautiful. I like that. That's
I didn't write it. I didn't write it, but
but it's a nice way to help see the flow.
Well, and to understand that the importance of all the safety energy locks, that this is a process that runs through our whole body. I just think that, and I can relate that to, even the tarot cards. Like, you can look at the numbers of it and the colors and everything, because these are all related to different colors and things. It's just amazing how it's all connected.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Thank you for letting me read that.
Well, of course. Liz and Awe and Lori Hunsinger are here. And Sun Psychic Jean has said, hi, Junosphere. So, and again, if people would like to get one-on-one information, again, know your limits, purchase responsibly, here to share, not to sell. Juno's contact information is in the description. So that's always very helpful. And okay, so I'm just looking at the questions. And yes, everybody, as Jane the Seeker said earlier, it's okay to rewatch the show and to let us know. So,
and repetition is the thing with Jin Shin Jitsu. That's just how you might hear me say things repeatedly, but this is how we integrate it into our daily practice.
Yes, and trust me, sometimes I'm stubborn, and it takes me a while to learn things. So, and Diana said, "Oh, those Destiny card readings are so spot on. It's surprising and amazing."
Thank you, Diana. So. Yeah, and it's not intuitive. It's something that's laid out, almost kind of like how astrology, things are kind of laid out for you. It's similar to that in a way, and it talks about different planets and their influence over our year.
And so, while we're, we are not diagnosing or anything like that, you go, go seek professional assistance. There's a couple of questions, and if we can't answer them, that's fine. Sandy said, my daughter has CPTSD. Anything to help that, I believe.
If she's talking about PTSD, there are things because I deal with that also. And one of them, and I was just going to talk about this, there's this area on the hand, and it's right here at the wrist, and it's called the Shen Men. It's at the back of the hand where the wrist crease is, and it's the spiritual door. Okay?
Oh.
So covering that, and in Jin Shin Jitsu, we learn if you want to make contact with the palm of one hand over the back of the other hand. This is really, really powerful, helping if you're having panic attack or dealing with PTSD. And if you do this prior, like say, okay, I know that going to the grocery store, I'm just giving an example,
sure.
Gives me PTSD. Do this before you go. You're going to help yourself have less reaction. It's a cumulative thing. So, what do we do? Like if someone's in the hospital and they're all hooked up to tubes and everything else, you can't get close to them, but we hold the back of their hand.
Yes.
Right. And this can also revive somebody from fainting. It's really, really powerful. So you can do one side or the other.
Wow. Okay.
If part of PTSD is like analysis paralysis, runaway thoughts, runaway thinking. Holding the pinky finger. And like I said, you can hold it any way you want. You're the artist. One day you might just want to just kind of hang on, not really focus or just kind of have your hand there. And then another day you might want to go, I want to really get down to what is the cause of this? Where is it? Where is that energy stuck? And you can really detail that finger. And you're going to find these little hot spots that are really, really tender. Yeah, this would be for any PTSD. Would be helpful. So those are things that you can do to help with the running away of thoughts. And like I said, do it is, if you know you're going to be in a triggering situation, do these things beforehand will help you when you're dealing with it.
It would build up the energy. It's preventative.
Yeah. And it's also cumulative, like all those sessions that I had with that doctor, I still benefit from all that. And that was years ago.
Yeah.
There you go.
Kaylee said, so that's why I like my friend holding my wrist when I'm having an anxiety attack. That makes so much sense. I
rarely talk about Jin Shin Jitsu when I don't hear somebody say, I'm already doing that. Like, this, it's learning is just remembering. Okay.
Yes.
We knew how to do these things. You're welcome, Sandy. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. And
Beth, go ahead.
Because we were talking, the laugh and learning, we were focusing on that. I find this an interesting correlation, but one of the things that you can do, you see safety energy lock 22 is right here right at the collarbone. Okay. So you
Mhm.
cross your hands and you can just rest your hands on, on your, over that area.
Like
This is
this?
really, yes, just whatever. And if you think about, look at it when they buried the Egyptian mummies and then how they're wrapped,
Oh.
their hands are up there. And it means safe and content wherever I am. So this can really help if you're having any kind of fear, any kind of panic,
Mm,
or if you're wanting to bring more joy and happiness into your life. This is another
that's
avenue to
incredible.
do that. And this is the one safety energy lock where all of the safety energy lock or all of the Jin Shin Jitsu flows go through safety energy lock 22. So we
Oh,
call it the train station or the hub. So I call it 22 Twain because it's 22. That's how I remember, you know.
yes, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. And I like how you can correlate it to the pharaohs.
Yeah,
So,
you'll start to notice things. Like another thing you can do to regenerate your own energy or to be self-protective. Okay, the 19s are at the elbows, so if you cross your hands, hold your elbows. That can be. So I relate that to I Dream a Genie. What did she do? She had that position. She was holding her elbows or just above it, and she
mhm.
would blink. She would generate her energy and blink.
Yep.
So that's, to me, that's how I express the I Dream a Genie. Or the
Yeah.
19s, holding the 19s. So I like to put these things in modern context so people can find it easier to remember them.
I think that's extremely helpful. I think any teacher would want it to be relatable for their students for current time. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's an evolving. It even said it in the beginning, it's an evolving cosmic artless art. It's constantly changing. But
definitely.
you can change without, you can still keep to the core beliefs without changing, you know what I mean? You can blend those two things,
Hmm.
keep the
Yeah.
core value there.
Yeah. Jane the Seeker had a question. What if you have metal there? Does metal block the energy?
No, this goes through clothes. It goes through anything. You can even send this distance. So say we have a mutual friend, like all, how we have our community and we know some, person X has whatever going on.
Hmm.
And if holding our thumbs would help them, if we all did that and sent that, it's that magnified, we can send that. But, it goes through anything. It's not,
Yeah. So Jane, you might be like the Terminator with all of that metal, but it's still going to get through.
yeah. Even if you say you had like I've had a hysterectomy, my uterus, my organs are still there energetically. So I can
Hmm.
still help them energetically. If someone has had a limb amputated, we've had clients that they've had that phantom pain, that had a
Yes.
foot removed or something, had phantom pain. Well, we would work on them in Jinshin Jitsu and we would have our hand in what would be that area if that foot was there, and they feel relief
Hmm.
from that. Sometimes it's permanent relief.
I
That,
love
that
that.
it's just making that connection and allowing the energy to flow again.
Yeah. Okay. So, Donna, artist and oracle, said, question, tips for right eye. Tear duct is sluggish.
Okay, the off the top of my head, because I deal with the eyes all the time because I have eye issues. If it's your right eye, take your right hand and cup it over your right eye. So you wanna be touching, like the heel of your hand, on your cheek and your fingertips on your forehead, and take the left hand and put that across the back of your head at the base of your skull.
Oh, the base of the skull.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you switch for either eye. And
Hmm.
also you can just, rub your hands together. You always do that anyway if you
Yeah.
want. And then cup over both eyes is also beneficial. So those are two things that can
And
work wonders.
this is one of those things that in my magical practice, you can build energy that way,
Right.
and you just feel it right there, and it can be very healing for to cup your eyes just to give them some of that loving attention. But you're talking about doing this, so that connects.
And it's going through the
Mhm.
pineal gland, and you're getting the third eye involved and everything there. It's really
Yes.
beneficial. So where the fingertips are up here, at Safety Energy Lock 20, this is seeing as the creator sees. So you think, the third eye is right in between those. And what do we do when we're trying to remember something? We put our hand to our forehead, like
Hmm.
I could only remember. So,
Yeah.
we don't know that we're jumper cabling, but we are, you know.
Yes. I love that. Jonathan asked, how does wearing rings affect your energy?
Um, I think this is on an individual basis. The way that I have seen where it has been an issue, okay, is another thing is with back to the eyes. You could go to the eye toe, which would be the index toe. Eye is also the EYE toe. So that's the one next to the big toe.
Mm-hmm.
So I have known people, you know, when toe rings are popular, somebody was having a lot of eye issues, and we noticed that they were wearing a toe ring that was too tight on the eye toe. And when they took it off, it helped their vision improve.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, you know, but, you know, I'm not against wearing rings. And I think it's an individual thing. You know, some people, like I like to, I've had jewelry that is like the stone is set so it touches your skin, not just facing out. That can be
Mm-hmm.
beneficial. But, you know, there's purists who feel like any metal on your body, you know, having earrings or anything, it can disrupt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think do what you're the artist is what I would say.
Yeah. So,
My issue again would be that it would be constricting if it was too tight. That would be the real obvious reason to not wear jewelry.
well, and I would also, I'm going to support you in this, is because there's because my chiropractor, who was aware of some of the Chinese medicine and acupuncture, pressure, and that thing, had talked about like ear piercings or
Right.
piercings, and
Yeah.
being careful where those
Yeah.
piercings are
Definitely.
connecting. And I remember when I started to wear, back in the day when I was younger, I would wear big hoops.
Yeah.
And I found that when I was, again, this is just Gerald, not endorsed by anybody else, but I would find that if I had the big hoops on, my thoughts got confused, because and
Oh,
I
you're
connected
running in
it to,
circles.
yeah, and that's what I said. It was
Oh.
like, oh, this is, so I changed them to smaller or to
Mhm.
studs, and it was fine. It
Very
stopped.
interesting.
So
But I also recognize that everybody's different, you know, and they have their own, what works for them is what works for them. So there, you know, we don't paint anybody with one brush here, I would say.
oh no,
Trying to
oh my
find
gosh,
what works. Yeah.
there's so many brushes. The Ito, great. Didn't know. We'll work on that too. And Donna also said, excellent. Thanks so much. Trying it right now. So this is
Excellent.
good.
Excellent.
And okay, so, for entertainment purposes only, everybody knows that.
Absolutely.
Juno's link is in the description below. It's also been put into the chat. So if you would like to show some support, there you go. There's also information about Juno's GoFundMe. It's one of the ways that you can get one of those amazing readings. And let's see.
And
Okay.
I'm also open, you know, to schedule private readings. That's another way
Yes.
you can support me. And I'm doing on my channel, I post 2 videos every day. One is they're mindless videos, so you can just watch a kaleidoscope and listen to all different kinds of music, and it's not
Yes.
necessarily meditative, but that's another fun thing to do to
Yeah.
kind of shift out. So
And Jonathan said, where most people get their ears pierced is the eye point in the science of ear
yeah,
acupuncture.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So, okay. So, any advice for sinuses?
Okay. Yes. So Gerald, you can demonstrate this for me. Take your right thumb and put it in the front of your left shoulder, like where you're, if you took drew a line right straight up from your armpit, and find a tender spot in the front of it, like right there.
Yep.
In that, that's if you, and you can do this with both thumbs, you know, on either side, right on left, left on right. Okay. Or do one at a time. This can really help clear your sinuses.
Hmm.
And if it's easier to, you know, to make a bridge, like with your fingertips and put them there instead of your thumb, you can do that too.
Oh, like that.
Yeah. But where you find that tender spot, that's where the energy is stuck. And this can really, really work to clean out your sinuses. Also, to clear the head, clear the bowels. So if you have any constipation issues or whatever, that can cause head congestion.
Okay. And And thank you, Rhonda Q. Hope that helps. And Care Bear Bard of Cards said, makes sense. I still feel an occasional pain sensation along my scars from a few abdominal procedures
Mhm.
from over a few years ago. It's an odd feeling, that phantom
Mhm. Yeah.
pain.
Mhm.
And Kaylee did share, overexerted myself curling on the weekend, and I've been having stabbing pain on and off in the back of my calf, similar to a Charlie horse. Any advice? Been giving it some Reiki, which helps temporarily.
Okay, off the top of my head, and this will relate to the laughing, that the happy thing that we were focusing on a little bit. Here, safety energy lock 15, which is right where, the crease at the groin, right where the
Hmm.
legs meet the torso.
Uh-huh.
Funnily enough, this is called the comedians. Safety energy lock 15s are the comedians. So there you go. Wash our hearts with laughter is what Safety Energy Lock 15 came into the universe meaning. So this also opens the gateway from the upper body to the lower body energetically. So not only can it help if you're, dealing with laughter and those kind of things, but it also can help anything that's going on in the lower body, knees, ankles, feet, toes, anything in the legs. And
Hmm.
also another thing that can help is just to the bladder flow line runs right up the back of the leg. So if you just put your hands here at the back of each knee, that I think they call it the ditch, the knee ditch, maybe is that what that is in the back
Okay.
of the knee? Hold that there. That can really help get that energy opened up and get it moving again.
Mm.
So those are two things you can try off
Let
the
us
top
know
of
how it
your head.
works, Kaylee, or if
Yes.
it works.
And drinking a
And
lot of water, that's also important. Anything with muscle tension like that. So
hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
yes. Yeah, definitely.
Well, and I also think that water, we're mostly made up of water,
Mhm.
and water is a great conductor of energy.
Yes. I did a short video last week. Water is a mirror. It's just a couple minutes long. You might guys want to check it out about
Oh, nice.
water. And I just saw a thing today, and in my Jin Shinjitsu notes, it said, water created humans to provide a way for water to get around.
I think that's absolutely true. All I do is transport water.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Just bags of
um,
water. That's how the ET sees us. We're bags of water.
okay. Teresa Ford asked, anything for grief?
Yes. The ring finger. Ring finger is good for grief, sadness, addictions. And addictions don't have to be drugs. Addictions can be, thoughts or shopping or, dramas or
Mhm.
whatever it is. And I would recommend really getting, holding it so your thumb is down in the palm of your other hand is really, really powerful.
Okay.
Especially dealing with grief, I would say focus more on the left hand because the
Hmm.
heart is a little bit more on the left side.
Okay.
And here again, you can get in there and you can do that detailing, putting pressure on each joint, each little, and when you find it, and you say you find a little hot spot, right? And so you bullseye it for a little while and it releases. Move just a little micro movement because sometimes that just moves a little bit and then you got to release it again there. So, just work with it. But big
Yeah.
hugs to you, Teresa.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So that's the ring finger.
Yes, ring fingers. That brings joy into being. So anything where you're dealing with any kind of sadness or grief or wanting
And
to release that.
what
And
about
also the one that I mentioned, sorry, the one with the hands over the 22s, like the Pharaoh, that's another really good one that's very, very comforting.
yes. Yes. What about how about insomnia points when people are struggling from insomnia?
Okay. There is an insomnia flow, and I know part of it is like you hold, I might have to look this up. You start with the pinky finger and you do 5 inhales and exhales, and then you move to the thumb and do 5 inhales and exhales. And you can go back and forth with that like 3 times, 5 inhales and
Hmm.
exhales. And then if you're still awake, then do the back of the hand.
Okay.
So that's one. There's a lot, each one of these there's a whole plethora of things, but this is a place to start. The pinky
Sure.
to the thumb, the pinky to the thumb, and then here
Yeah.
can really be helpful.
Yeah. And Joan B is here. It's like, should we do any breathing practice with these positions? And you just talked about one. It was like perfectly timed.
Yes. Well, breathing is it's what it's all about, you know. And Mary would say, when someone confronted her, Mary Burmeister, the founder of Jin Shin Jyutsu, when someone confronted her about how there was repetition in some of her books, and she went, okay, well, let me think. And she says, yeah, I could distill all of this information down into one word: breathe.
Wow.
So the important thing about breathing is fully exhaling. So yeah, we are what we eat, but we also are what we don't excrete. And when we exhale is when we're letting go. We're getting rid of, right? We're purging, whatever that is. So when you inhale, you want to exhale just a little bit longer. Do the deep breaths. You know, even if you don't do it all day long, but even if you spend a few minutes with it. And each hold, right? If you're holding each finger, say that's a practice every day, 5 inhales and exhales minimum per finger. You can do more, you know, but that's the minimum.
Sure.
And then you can move on to the index, and, you know, and then you can go and do the other side. Toes are also, they have the same energetic properties as the fingers. So you might want to pay attention to your toes. Yeah. And one other thing is, a lot of people that they say they have heart attacks. I was told that a lot of times it's actually a diaphragm attack, because we hunch over, right? We don't sit up straight. And when we don't exhale, that diaphragm is continuing to push up on the heart.
Yes.
And causes stress on the heart. So lots of reasons to sit up straight. And I was told from Spirit that it makes us a better antenna for psychic information if we sit up straight.
I can absolutely see that. I can totally see that. Care Bear said, when I took vocal lessons, I learned so much about breathing. Use it now in meditation. Breathing
like that will change your life. And the other thing is, we don't take a breath. We receive a breath. It's a gift. So when we're feeling down and like nobody loves me, or I'm in a mentality of lack or whatever, just think of how many unconscious, you don't even have to effort. You breathe, you receive those gifts how many times a day and night. You receive it when you're sleeping, you know.
Yes.
And start building on that thought, and then incorporating that into your language to yourself.
Yes. And Kaylee's saying, me sitting up straight after hunching over at my desk at work, #work lurking.
And I'm just as guilty as anybody, you know.
Yes.
You have to keep reminding yourself, you know, sit up straight.
Yes.
It is a gift.
Well, and a lot of times I think, because we've been hunched over, and, you know, I'm sitting in front of my computer, if I actually lean back, I'm not sitting up straight. So if I sit up straight, it does shift the energy.
Yeah, definitely.
Shifts the energy quite
a
bit.
It aligns your chakras, all of that, you know, everything gets back in order. So
yeah. Okay, so, and we are just over an hour, and one of the things that I was curious about is, let's see. Okay, this has been a great hour. I mean, it's been wonderful. What I'm curious about is, what are some of the basics people who are watching for entertainment purposes only could use in their daily practices?
Well, I think that the easiest one is to, holding your fingers. Like I said, 14,400 functions in the body. So if your hands, you know, if you do all your fingers, you're harmonizing everything in the entire body. I would really begin with that. And, you know, that can be a lifelong practice right there, just studying that. I wanted to, something I wanted to share here that related to what you said.
Well, and I also think, because a lot of us are typing, we're doing things and writing. Some of us still use writing utensils that are not computers, but that if we were to take 5 breaths with each of our fingers, that's 50 breaths, and that could be a sneaky way to do a little bit of like meditation in it.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, for entertainment purposes only, people, but.
And if you do 36 breaths, you're harmonizing the entire body system. And I have a whole breakdown of what each one of those, how that is, but we'll do that another time. Our hands are our rejuvenators and our harmonizers. Hands are generators of the Creator's power, not from within us, but a part of the ever constant and balanced universal supply. We need only to be aware of this supply.
Wow. And awareness is really important, because now people who have watched this are going to probably be, how many people right now are actually holding their fingers? So, Jonathan asks, are there JSJ mudras?
Yes, there are. And I will go into those. I'm going to be offering some classes. I'm figuring out how to do, like, how I'm going to do all this, but that is another part. I think there's 6 or 8 mudras. Yes. And I also have a playlist on my channel of other mudras that I began last year. So there's a lot you can work with there. I'm constantly making new videos. So sometimes I got to get back to a topic and add to that playlist, but there's a lifelong stuff already, a bunch of stuff already on my channel.
Yes.
Another thing, and here's, we live in the times we live in, and we all know how stressful they are. So another thing that we like to teach is to do a big hug. So you remember Mary Catherine Gallagher on Saturday Night Live and how she would put her hands under her armpits?
Yes, superstar.
Okay. Yeah, superstar. So you do that, and you have your thumbs pointing towards, yeah, there you go. Okay, and we do 36 inhales and exhales, and we won't do that here because it takes too long, but this is really powerful. This is the one that harmonizes everything, and also very good, anyone who's having a panic attack, PTSD. If you want to have a really good day, do this before you get out of bed. Set your intention for the day. Call in your angels and guides and talk to them and say, okay, guide me through my day. And if a challenge is coming up, will you mitigate its, the severity of it for me? Help me through this. And when you start doing that, it's amazing how things will shift for you.
Yes.
I can't say enough about it. And if you have a hard time counting to 36 and you want to do those 2 practices separately, just take some beads or whatever, get 36 of them, put them on a string, and then you can work them like a rosary. And that way you don't have to memorize where you're at. You can just do the breaths. That's very vital every day.
That's great. And Jonathan has subscribed, and Jane the Seeker has put in your channel. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
And lots of people are loving this.
Thank you.
I
love you guys.
What was that?
I love you guys. I love all you guys.
Yes,
I'm so grateful to this community. I found this quote. I was looking up things about laughter and stuff, and it made me it tickled my funny bone. It said, monkeys have been extreme good doctors for the spleen. Because they make you laugh. Laughter is good.
I like that.
And when you look at the minor chakras, the spleen is the only one that has 2 chakras.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Spleen is very vital, and it's where we harmonize and integrate the solar energy that we receive every day.
That's fascinating. Huh. Things that make you go,
monkeys and spleens.
Monkeys and spleens. And the spleen would probably be an overachiever because it has 2 chakras that it's responsible for.
Exactly. And the guy who wrote that and studied that was Matthew Green, and he wrote a book about the spleen in 1737.
1737, writing about the spleen. Yeah. And Beth said, I don't think people can neurologically handle the onslaught of information we get, combined with the inability to solve global issues. Yeah.
So we work on ourselves, because it's all a reflection. That's when we feel disempowered and that it's just too big, I can't do anything. If you take care of yourself, you're doing what you're expected to do, because that's all there is.
Yes. Well, and I hosted Deb, Purple Elephant Deb H on, and she was talking about this idea of a healing grid, an energy grid. And we all do our own thing. And I'm going to get Deb back on to talk more about it. But when we are doing our own thing, and that benefits us, but we're connected to the grid. It benefits the whole.
Exactly.
So
I've been mapping out, I have a like a map of the United States, and because most of our viewers, the people I talk to are in the United States, and I'm making a grid, like mapping out where they all live and seeing how we're all connected, because if it wasn't for the pandemic, we wouldn't have gotten together. The internet was here before, YouTube was here before, but it took that that dramatic experience to bring us together, and it is no mistake that we're all connected.
4 years ago was when it really started.
Yeah.
So, okay. Any last minute thoughts that you wanted to share with people, Juno? This has been great. So,
thank you. I love this. I'm just so grateful to have an audience and people who are interested, because this is something that doesn't have to cost you anything. You can just hold your own fingers or wherever, you can learn enough to, if all you do is hold your thumbs or your inside your knees, you can do that for the rest of your life, the rest of your jumper cable days. I ran across this quote or this description. It says, "Be a happy warrior. A happy warrior is someone cheerfully undeterred by opposition of any kind." And I think if we strive for that, like if I say something nice happens to me, I get a nice little surprise, and whatever it is, and it can be something small, it could be something kind of big. I savor that. I hang on to that moment. I bring every drop of joy out of it. I put off, if I've got bills to open or something I don't want to do, if it can wait, put it off and milk that joyful moment for everything you can, because you're training your whole system. It's like that muscle memory, like you're training your muscles, inside your soul, what that feels like. And then it's like, then the universe goes, "Oh, she likes that. Let's give her some more of that." Because the universe likes the way it feels when you're in joy. So if you want to know how you can help things, and it's not about, well, somebody else is suffering, so I don't have any right to feel joy. That's not how it works.
No.
You can't cry enough to relieve anyone else's distress.
Correct.
So if you can take that little, whatever that joyful moment is, you might go, "Wow, she told me about this, and then I held on my thumb where she said, and it hurt." That might bring you joy because you found the key to unlock whatever that issue is, project is. So
it is an important thing, is the joy in discovering something that is causing so much pain can be very liberating. It's like, oh, figured it out.
Yeah, or I'm not just making it up. It's validation.
Oh,
when
yes.
It starts to connect those dots. I mean, all of that. I'm not disregarding what you said. It's it's that, the Jin Shin Jitsu is the art of getting to know and helping yourself.
And Jonathan said, "Add a spot on Maui for me."
Oh, yes, please.
And I have put Juno's GoFundMe in the chat. So if you want to be able to show support of any kind, the details are in the description as well as on the GoFundMe.
Thank you, Gerald, for mentioning that. And
You're
I
welcome.
thank everybody in advance for, even, if all you can do is send me the kind wishes that it's successful, that I gratefully accept that also.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's all really awesome.
This has been wonderful. You're a wonderful guest. Thank you. And I think people, you can stay tuned, because Juno might be doing some lives and doing some more videos, maybe.
You might want to watch my show, or watch my channel around April 1st and see if there might be something fun.
You heard it here.
You heard it
here. So, all right. Spiritual Rain is here. Hi, Spiritual Rain. We're just finishing up. Watch the playback. It's good. It's good.
You are the consummate host, Gerald. I really
thank you.
Very much. This has been I've dreamed about sitting there working with you before. I was hoping that we would get a chance to. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And when I get going, I'll have you as a guest on my channel one of these days.
I love that. Sign me up. Sign me up. And Jules, learning to listen, said, "Yeah, it's a great way to help. No matter how small, it all adds up." Yes,
it really does.
It all adds up. Yep.
We have a lot of heavy energy to counteract. So, when I realized that not saying that one certain person's name, not even giving them the energy, just totally pulling, not giving any anger, whatever, it really helped me to not stay in that,
Yes.
which helps the universe. It helps us all.
Absolutely. Yeah. The hottest hostess with the bestest. Yeah.
Where's
Well,
the swoop? You need a swoop on that.
I was just gonna say, it's just like the thing is, if we adjust our own energy, and but if everybody, if that didn't matter, I mean, there are not enough fanthwarps in the world to get rid of the crap that's going on.
Right.
I mean, there are not enough. Everybody has to do stuff.
That's
So
right. And it starts with taking care of yourself, and how you can take
yes,
care of yourself by just using your hand, and
yes,
you can find your comedians and do whatever the wash your heart with laughter.
yes.
Um,
Well, and there's also this beautiful idea of is if we were to teach our children how to
yes.
pay attention to this,
Oh, hang on, I'll show you something. Keep talking.
that could be really amazing. If you have somebody, your friend, like Kaylee, you have your friend who puts their hand on top of your, on their hand on top of yours, and that helps, then say that, do that, and it's cool. So I think it's important that we do this.
This is a book that you can get from the store at jsjinc.net. That's the website for the main office of Jin Shin Jitsu in Scottsdale. And I mean, this is great for anybody of any age, but they do it in pictures so that kids can see.
Oh,
Just beautiful book, just simple. Right.
love it. That's
And
great.
it
Well,
tells them what to do. So again, it's and these are not, I'm not promoting or whatever. These
yeah,
I love the books. This is Mary's work.
there's that, because
Right.
know your limits, purchase responsibly. But that's great.
Yeah,
I,
just a
I,
really beautiful
I,
blue book.
when I worked at the library and people were looking for information about a topic for like high school, and I would actually say, have you considered going into the juvenile section just
Yeah,
to find the basics?
yeah,
And they were like, oh, I wouldn't do that. And I'm like, why? Because you need to
exactly.
get a lot of information, and that's going to narrow down. So, and
Exactly. And this is an excellent book that you can get this even in used bookstores too.
yes,
It's been out for several years, but this is a great book about Jinshin Jitsu. My friend Sarah, who's my mentor, her story is in here. There's a lot of people, and I do know Alice. I know her personally, so
yeah.
yeah, really,
Okay.
really excellent information.
Focus on what you can change in your space, not what you have no control over. And okay. So what was that first book? I think Beth would like.
I think you can get this one there also. It's Fun with Happy Hands, and you go to JSJINC, like incorporated.net. And if you go to the store, I don't think this book is on Amazon. I think you have to get it from there. And I'll show you. Hang on a second.
Okay, I am.
There's some self-help books that you can get, and I think you have to get these through that same jsjinc.net. There's 3 different self-help books that Mary put together. So when you take a 5-day class, then you can buy the textbooks, but anybody can buy these self-help books, and they're broken down into 3 different sections in there.
I just put the link into that Happy Hands.
Yeah. Okay. So there's nice little diagrams and things that you can work through. Like working through the self-help books. If you have a child who's autistic, these self-help books can be really beneficial to work through them on a regular basis. This has got a different cover than what the current, the new one does, but there's also the Jinshin Jitsu for your animal companion, which I believe you can get on Amazon. And Adele is a dear friend of mine, so.
Oh, that's nice.
I highly recommend it.
And Beth did found it on the website and Amazon.
And so. here it's the animals. You can see the different safety energy locks where they are on.
Oh, wow.
Animals. And so I'm going to be having Adele on my channel. Here's on horses. Here's on dogs. So yeah, she teaches a class, but I can help you with basic things, kind of like, I look at it as like first aid kind of things, and like I said, we're not diagnosing, but if we can help your animals or yourself or your children or whatever harmonize, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say when it won't work is I can tell you it definitely won't work if you don't do it.
Well said.
You
It
know,
won't work if you don't do it. Yeah, I like that.
you know, and
Yeah.
results vary depending on, and it all depends on a lot of different things. I mean, I have seen like almost instantaneous, miraculous, things happen with animals and with people. And then sometimes it's something that it comes off in layers. You got to work at it, work at it, and work at it.
Yeah.
So,
And Beth said it was only on the
okay.
website.
Okay.
So it's this one because, there we go.
Yeah.
So, but all right. Well, we have filled an hour and a half,
Uh-oh.
Almost an hour and a half,
Uh-oh.
an hour
YouTube
and
police are
21
going to come
minutes.
get us.
There are no YouTube police, and if they try to show up, I'm after them.
That's right.
My tiny hands will take care of them. There's room
We
for
can just
everybody.
hide behind the fan. They won't see us, right? That's our invisible cloak.
Yes.
Our fan of invisibility.
Our fan of invisibility. And I guess my question is does this work with tiny hands as well?
It does.
Wow.
It does. The size of the safety energy lock, okay, is correlated to the size of the being you're working on. So if a horse, their safety energy locks would be larger. So for people, they're about the size of the palm of our hand.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what that says about you, but there you go.
Well,
don't carry them in your pockets. I'll put it that way. They might be dangerous.
There you go. Well, everybody, thank you very, very much. Please definitely like and subscribe to both of our channels. Links are below if you have an opportunity and you want to show some support for Juno. There's also contact information for additional information with Juno on the work that she's doing. So I want to say thank you very much. And thank you, Juno. It was wonderful to share space with you again.
Oh, thank you, Joe. This was my pleasure, and I look forward to it. And like I said, I'm open to questions, or I'm very easy to contact, and we can discuss things. And now that I have my Zoom account, we can do Zoom meetings that way.
Nice.
So
nice.
Let me know what you need, and I'll do what I can to help.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.